Sweet.
All right, guys. Hey, what's up? Sorry about that. The computer crashed, so we have a new stream up, and we are in qualifying right now. I'm just trying to get everything pulled up for you guys, so you don't miss a moment.
So far, we haven't missed too much. They're on their second lap, so they've only made one complete circuit of Suzuka. It's a good thing it's a long track. At about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. A little bit under average, maybe. Currently, GTR Renaud sitting in first place with a 2-minute 3, which is bloody ridiculous. They were like 4 seconds, maybe, no, not quite that, maybe 2 seconds off their pace. Fast to run this qualifying session. Do we have the new stream up yet? Dear friend?
Give me 1 second.
The new stream is currently up. Go look for it, tell your friends.
There we go. All right. I'm a little discombobulated at the moment. Let me just get a tweet out as well on the off Twitter to let everyone know that we do have a new stream up. So,
solid use of that word. Oh. On board with DOR Stugs, and he's just parked it in the wall for some reason.
He may not be racing.
He was. He may not be, but he just wasted 2 laps for show. Alright. I got a message from... Yeah. AMR Dirty Butt. Thanks, buddy.
Alright, so tweet out.
I'll just message this man back.
Alright guys, so welcome to lap 4 here at
qualifying.
Suzuka Circuit. Yeah, we're on board with Aerox Chris at the moment. And Matt Gaming, I see you. What's up, man? I see Wolves as well. Wolves, we're kind of disappointed you're not racing. You know what I'm saying, man?
Always a good one to watch. Absolutely.
Always enjoying him watch. You know, he's on the bubble as well. Wolves is. I believe he's sitting in that 8th position right now. So he's getting away with one. You know, with Hamish and Cerberus not racing, and now him not racing. Nice. That opens the door for those GTR guys sitting, you know, right below them in 11, 12, and 13 of Warwick, Floffel, and who was the other one? Hayasa, I think. I think those.
Yeah,
I think those guys are
Hayasa.
all...
I don't have the standing in front of me. I should really do that.
So if they're normally
distracted by so many
around,
other things going on.
Yeah, if they're normally sitting around that like 9th, 10th, 11th finishing position in those races, well, those guys coming up, like without racing, they're gonna finish now tonight in 7th or maybe even 6th and get more points. We saw this last week with Lightning, and you know you got the double win plus the pole when Force One and Venom weren't racing. Same thing here. They're gonna get a big bonus tonight.
Sorry, I'm just looking for these results, but yeah, they will. So all those guys missing out on this round, they actually have a drop round for them, so they're not going to be too out of sorts, except for maybe, I think it was HCR.
Cerberus.
Who's here? Cerberus, yeah, he's going to lose out the most. But most of these guys are going to be okay. But like we said last week, they will shake up the overall point standing quite a little bit. Saw that on the American side last week at Laguna Seca, I believe.
Right.
Sort of. How are we doing? What do we got?
You have to give me 1 second. I just got to reposition this.
Oh, off the track logo? Yeah, nice. Solid.
There we go. Now it's actually positioned correctly on the screen, so you guys can actually see it properly. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I apologize as I voice crack.
Yeah.
I apologize. My computer decided to crash, and I'm not sure why. Never seen that screen before, but we're back up, and we're concluding qualifying here. You're on board with GTR Renaud, and he is your current pole sitter, I believe with a 202 something, actually. I'm not quite sure. Looking at, I mean, the other lobby qualified. Williams Roadrunner only running a 203.4, so I think Renaud is the pole sitter at the moment. Racers did not run a clean lap. Maybe not. I don't know why that says 503.5.
Racers didn't run a clean lap? No,
well, it says,
surely
it says 503.5. So I'm curious.
If that's the case, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's going to be big, if that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to wait to see. Live timing's coming through when it comes through, and
Right.
that could be really big for some of the guys back there. If Racers is going to be here and score really low, I mean, it's going to be good for Roadrunner.
Oh, as the
yeah,
guy I'm on board
Jesus.
with here, Eric's Chris.
Yeah,
Trying to
nearly
get
dies
loose
through
by a lap.
130R. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but maybe he was just pushing to finish. I've got Renaud with a 203, a lot of 203s, even Falofe is running a 203 there, so some good solid stuff all round.
Yeah.
Just watching it back on the stream is great. I'm looking for live timing. I don't even know how to work this site sometimes. I'm so stupid. You should fire me and replace me with someone else, honestly.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the results from qualifying here real quick from this lobby. So all the times are in. It looks like, I mean, Racers, correct me if I'm wrong. You did not run a clean lap, I believe. I see you in the chat, bud. Which is very sad, to say the least. Renaud with a 203.096.
That's very close to a 202.
Yeah. Floffel with a 203.9. Nismo with a 205.1. I don't see... Oh, Bokit with a 203.1. Bokit exactly a tenth off of Renaud. EVR Matt
I
with
got
204.3.
disconnected. That's always great. I managed to get through the whole thing and then get disconnected right at the end.
Hey, at least your computer didn't crash.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna be 15
Looks like-
drivers for Pro Lobby again. How many drives do we have today?
27, I think, because I don't think two. I think two didn't qualify.
2 didn't qualify. That's enough.
Or one didn't
That's
qualify.
enough for 2 lobbies.
Yeah, I think we got
Yeah,
28 today, or 27. Yeah.
That's good.
I'm just trying to see here.
Oh no, we got Hayasa qualifying. So
Okay.
Hayasa, what? But Hayasa's got a qualifying time of 5 minutes as well.
Wow. Okay, so drop rounds all over the place.
Yeah, so I've got Hayasa, Racers, and MRT Red Bull with over 5-minute laps. Oh, interesting. That's some potential to shake some stuff up for sure.
So here's the thing. Here, let's just look over. I want to pull up the standings here really quickly because this is going to be
Yeah.
really important. Okay, so we've got, if we look at the standings right now, that 8th place is the all-important cutoff point, okay? Racers is going to be in B lobby, so that's one position bumped up for everyone, essentially, right? Then you have iWolves not racing tonight, so, and same with Hamish and Cerberus. So if you look at the guys in Warwick's position, Floffel, Hayasa, they're in that 10th, 11th, 12th places right now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
these guys are going to benefit by 4 positions essentially. each race. So this round could be massive. So if you see how, say, Warwick has rounds of 145 and 134, okay, now he has an opportunity to get a round of, say, 160. And that could really push him up closer to that cut line. As he's, you can see he's 31 back, as opposed to these guys who are just going to miss the round. And now they're allowing other people to come up and possibly take them away.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh no. Yeah, I'm just watching a clip from Renaud, and he runs over the curb at the end of 130R and gets damage.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Today we're doing fuel and tires, not simulation damage because of that.
So it didn't quite catch all the bugs. That patch.
Is there a reason? Is there a reason why we're racing again in this lobby? Oh, because I think he didn't set the end timer correctly. I don't think the host set the. Oh wait, no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just a practice. Oh no, maybe they are doing it again because it is 3 laps. Cosworth. I don't think because I think a bunch of people didn't finish their lap time, so I think they're getting an extra out lap, or not an extra out lap, an extra flying lap. So we'll see. But right now, Renaud is on provisional pole essentially with his lap time.
2030.
Yeah. Actually, let's see if I can get that up on screen for you guys really quickly. I don't think. Let's see here. I don't remember the previous. I know Renaud ran a 203 something, 203 flat, I believe.
I'd like to know what Roadrunner qualified with.
He did. He had Roadrunner put down a 203.4.
I can't join anything right now. My Xbox internet is doing great. I can't see anything. I can't even join the lobby. Classic. At least I can see the stream.
Racers is wondering if he gets an extra flying lap. I don't know. From what I understand, these guys are running right now. I think that it's because I noticed that there was half the lobby DNF'd on their last lap. So I think that the case was that the host didn't put the end race timer for qualifying long enough. So they didn't get to finish their final lap. So I think they're getting another lap. I mean, if you got a full qualifying session, I don't think that you're going to get another. I don't think you're going to get another lap.
And assuming that you didn't have damage on, and didn't cop damage randomly throughout the qualifying session.
Right. Exactly.
So if you had I wouldn't say painless, but had a standard qualifying session and just unable to run clean, then no, I don't think you'll be able to run another qualifying. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted while I'm trying to join back in the lobby.
Right, yeah.
Xbox is being cooperative.
Renaud has put down another lap time for pole.
Why?
Right now he's sitting on provisional pole again.
I don't think it's provisional anymore. I think he's got this fucking track dialed. As I swear because I'm tired and not thinking. Damn it. Brain, please, behave.
So essentially they're only getting one extra flyer because they didn't get to finish one. So essentially instead of getting 6 laps, or instead of getting 5 laps, well, 4 flying laps, they're getting 5 flying laps. So they got oh, actually no, this makes sense because the first lap and the other one doesn't count, right? Because it's your out lap. So then they only got 2, 3, 4. They only got laps 2, 3, and 4. So then they only got
They
3
don't
laps.
get
So they
5.
should. So they should get 2 more. So they are getting them now here, because they got the outlap here. Yeah. Okay. So this
They would only
makes
get
sense.
1 more lap though. They only get if they got 2, 3, 4. That's 3 laps,
Right.
and then 1 more flyer would be 5.
Oh yeah. So
Getting
they are
2
getting
more
an extra
flyers.
lap. They are
Yeah,
getting an
that
extra
seems
lap.
interesting. I'm not too sure about that, but maybe the second lap's not going to count, and they just put 3 laps in to make sure everyone finished. No idea. No idea.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Wolf's just said that Renaud's gone through so many towels practicing for this. Chris, if this is true, like if these laps count, Chris right now has put down a .097, and let me tell you right now, Renaud in the previous session put down a 0.96. So
That's
Chris
ridiculous.
is 1/1000th of a second off pole right now.
Chris is doing really well. I'm impressed with that pace. I mean, to be 1/1000th off Renaud. Renaud's one of those top guys. Races looks like he might be at the back, but will that lap count? Like, will Chris's lap? Oh, it'll be the second lap, so that's fine. He's his first flyer. This is interesting. I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Racers is loading up his Xbox right now. I'm not sure if he only ran a certain amount of laps. If you like take to message Cosworth or Warwick, I would message Cosworth or Warwick if there's a situation where you didn't get to complete all your laps or you lagged out or something. Then I would suggest messaging one of them and telling them the situation.
Did I just see a little bit of a handbrake in the hairpin from Chris? I did. What a sinner.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that they're using handbrake.
I'm not shocked either.
But I mean, yeah. As
I
we
expect
see
from these guys.
Martin go off there.
I told some of the guys that we'd be handing out penalties for it, but we're not actually going to do that.
Using handbrake, yeah.
Yeah. As much as I don't think it should be a thing, it's whatever. So, turn 10 if you're listening, disable handbrake for cars that don't actually have a handbrake.
Yeah, that would be clutch, actually.
No, it would be handbrake.
No, I mean, no, I mean...
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking with you. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, dad jokes aside, looks like Renaud's going to take pole.
Looks like Renaud's going to take pole, yeah. It might be a good race between him and Chris. I don't know what Bokit ran. I think he ran a .2 in the previous session. This is really confusing because we don't have, like, we don't have all of the times in front of us. Bokit ran a 203.208 in this session. Falafel putting down good pace with a 203.6. Yeah, Chris with a 203.097. Martin with a 2. I think anything in the 203s is going to be. I think anything in the 203s is going to be a lobby.
Pro split?
With
Yeah.
So it looks like Renaud is going to be on pole.
There's not too many fours. I really thought there'd be a lot of fours in the back part of Pro Lobby, but it's pretty much just a bunch of threes, a handful of fours, and then fives and sixes.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I really thought that would be different.
So Renaud, looks like Renaud is on pole with a 203.077, like we thought. And Chris, 2/200th of a second off of his pace with a 203.097.
Yeah, that looks like that's what I've got too.
We have a new guy today as well, ART Burrow. He ran a 203.829, which is right in that realm with like Floffel. Fluff. It's flow. Well, yeah.
You say fluff, but it's like it's
It's
FLO, FLALE.
It's
You
spelled.
can't be fluffle.
I know it's not flawful, but it's like it's spelled flow flawful, but I don't want to say flow flawful. I just want to say flawful.
Where's it's more like flow, flayful,
No, it's fluff-
flowflay, flufflayful.
No, it looks like it's spelled flow flawful or flow flayful, but I
Flow
pronounce it flow
flayful.
I
No, you
pronounce
can't
it
be flow
flawful.
flayful. That's not 3 F's. There's only 2 F's. It's flow flail.
Flow flail? Oh, it's flow
Flow
flail.
flail? Yeah, flow flail. I don't know, man. This name's confusing. My grasp on the English language is not that good.
I
But there's
just
definitely not 3 F's in there. Yeah. Flow flay, flow. You know who we're talking about when we make noises like that.
Let's get into the more important. Let's get into the more important.
Yeah,
topics,
take
like
us,
how to
take us,
pronounce it.
bring up the track map. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, yeah, we'll bring up the track map here.
Take us
so
on a
you guys
lap.
can- Yeah, exactly. So Suzuka Circuit,
One of my favorites.
one of Jason's favorites. Since it's one of your favorites, why don't you go ahead and,
I
and
will.
take us through a lap. Talk about some of the overtaking spots as well, and maybe where you need to defend as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the track map to pop up on stream, so we'll just fill till then. But it is one of my favorite tracks. It's got great technical sections, a lot of speed, a lot of really complicated braking, and a lot of balancing the throttle. Like you can't be all out here. If you attack this circuit, it will bite you, which is great. I love it. So you're coming down the front straight there. First turn's really a bit of a double turn. Turn 2's kind of just a continuation of turn 1 in one braking zone. You really want to get that nice and smooth through there, and then come up into turn 3, and the S's is all a one line. There's no passing through the S's. It's very technical, and it's very hard to stay online there. Then it's really critical because you can lose a lot of time through the S curves through 3 to 6, and then up and through Dunlop curve. Once you nail 7, going up into Degner curve 1 and 2. That's a pretty easy one, but you can with this car if you accelerate too early into 7, you'll just find yourself getting carted wide into the grass outside Dunlop curve. Dunlop curve is a nice up-hand, left, flat-out section. Degner, they're quite a difficult corner, set of corners. There's a lot of camber on the inside there, so you can like really build your speed through there and try and get a nice exit on turn 9. That's pretty critical if we're looking to defend into turn 10, the hairpin. That's a difficult braking zone because you kind of have to just kink right before braking really hard into a left hairpin. So that's a bit complicated and again very technical.
And we
then
saw
onto the speed
guys-
section of the track. Oh yeah,
We saw
sure.
guys. I was just gonna say we saw guys pulling the handbrake, so it's gonna be really difficult. If you're not, well, the thing is, if you're pulling the handbrake, it's gonna be difficult to defend because you're gonna be sort of pivoting your car, and if someone wants to dive up the inside, they can do it on exit. Especially if they double apex the turn, so they got to be really careful, especially if they're side by side going into that turn and they're pulling the handbrake. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how they go through that turn and through around 12 into Spoon.
Yeah, that's going to be the critical one, is to get a really good run out of 11. As it's the speed section of the track. If you get a poor run, you're going to be, you're going to be swamped by the guys behind you. There's obviously going to be a lot of constant teetering in the hairpin, so it's going to be quite dicey. Looking to see a lot of patience from drivers there, hopefully. Around spoon curves off camber. It's a really annoying sort of corner. You can see a lot of moves into turn 13. That's probably like a really good overtaking position because if you're on the inside, you can really push somebody and have them offline for corner 14, which is a really awkward and clumsy long left off camber left-hander. That's what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. And so as you go around there, the car kind of wants to understeer and then oversteer and do all kinds of weird things. Onto the final straight there, 130R, very critical to get right. If you get a poor run through there, you will be swallowed down to turn 16 into the hard braking zone for the final chicane. Obviously a lot of constant teetering going on there. It's the longest braking zone on the track as you're going very fast to very slow. Very complicated chicane, or very tough chicane, I would say. It's very hard to get it slowed down enough and get your rhythm right through there. known as the Casino Triangle. I did not know that. Or Casio Triangle. I can't read.
Oh, I thought it was. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was Casino Triangle either.
Yeah,
Well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I just got.
Anyway,
I
so
just
it turned
see Kitty Rouge said that
oh,
it's Flo Flal. It's he
Flo
says
Flal. Flo
Flo
Flail?
Flal.
Yeah, I can see that.
No,
Flo
Flo
Flal.
Flal.
Flay.
Apparently the French
Flo
don't
Flal.
say the e on the end, so it's like Flo Flal.
Oh, that makes
like,
sense. I didn't
yeah.
realize he was French, so there you go. Flo Flal. Yeah, okay.
Anyways, keep going.
Flo Flal. Anyway. Yeah, so probably have a lot of build up through 16 and 18, so look for a lot of traffic and action in that area. Uh, Getting a good run out of the chicane's kind of difficult. Again, if you accelerate too early, you will just be carted right onto the grass there, and there's a nasty curve on the end of turn 18 that could throw your car in the air, I believe, if you get it wrong. But yeah, and then down the pit straight onto turn 1 again. So that's a good track there. 3.6 miles in length. It's nice.
It's a good thing that we're not doing a pit stop because I know I've seen a lot of people just smack into the pit wall. They don't know how to enter.
Yeah,
into
it's
the pit
kind
lane,
of
which is funny.
Yeah, it is a little bit funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of like off to the you're kind of peeling left as you accelerate. You know what I mean? Like, I get why it's difficult for people.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna pull up the schedule real quick as well. So we're halfway done with the series. I mean, 3 down, 3 to go. We're at Suzuka this week. Next week, we're at one of my favorite tracks. Actually, the next 2 tracks are one of my favorite tracks. I love Silverstone, and I love Nürburgring GP. Really looking forward. More dynamic weather as well. I have a feeling, we might see some more rain. You never know. But
Particularly in Germany. When we go to Germany, that will be the one for rain, I reckon. And, actually, we're going to England. Silverstone has potential rain for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's winter now as well, so like the likelihood is even higher.
It's too bad we can't do snow in this game. You know what I'm saying?
It's too bad we can't just adjust the track temperature to whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, sim racing games that do that. You win.
Yeah, and then we got the Spa finale at the end. So I mean, we keep talking about the finale, top 8. Why? Why do we keep talking about that? It's because the top 8 from this region and the top 8 from the U.S. region combine for the grand finale. That's where most of the money is, and that's where you're gonna win a championship in one of the most competitive championships ever in community racing.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's been fairly competitive so far. I mean, we've seen some pretty great racing, a lot of action. So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the series out. I mean, the next 2 tracks, actually the next 3 tracks are all amazing. Amazing race tracks. A lot of race potential at Silverstone and GP, and Spa just is. It's Spa, like it's a great track. A little bit difficult to pass, but there's plenty of room to outdrive somebody for sure.
For sure, yeah. So I want to talk about the guys that are in the top 8 right now, because we don't have the live timing up as well. So the guys that are in the top 8 here in the EU, let me just take a look here real quick. So we've got Racers, Roadrunner, Chris, Renaud, Bokit, Matt, Lawrence, and Wolfs. Lawrence put down a really good lap time. I want to talk about, we have all these stats at our disposal, and we want to sort of bring them in here and sort of validate some sort of statement. So what I want to do is I want to
basically we just want to talk about stuff.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a guy who is able to do really well in the reverse grid, really take advantage, and hasn't really placed extremely well in the normal race, and that's EVR Matt. His average finish in race number 1 is 10th. But then in race number 2, he's averaging a 3rd place finish, which tells me that he is starting in front of those guys that are really fast, and he's making his way through the field without them catching him, essentially, and finishing very high.
It's interesting. I don't remember seeing Matt on the podium, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't have the best recall. But yeah, I think Matt maybe underqualified. Maybe he's just not practicing as much as some of the other guys, or maybe he's just learning the tips and tricks as he goes along. I'm not really too sure why you would end up in that situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how you go from maybe he's having a really bad race 1 and then just being able to start further up the field in race 2 and being able to make a bit of a gap there. I'm not really sure That usually doesn't track. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But I mean, he's finishing high up. He does have one podium. Let me see. He does have one podium. Yep. But he also, I mean, he's doing pretty consistent. He's got 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s. So he's really consistent. He's been inside, you know, in 6 races. He's been inside that top 5 3 times. But the other time, it looks like
you said 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s. Is it not just the same top 3?
It's just yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. So
Yeah.
the other three places have been probably I would assume probably race 1, where he's been finishing outside the top 10, which is why he's averaging 10th place in race 1.
Nice.
So,
I mean, I see that. His qualifying is not really there, and his mid-pack driving doesn't seem to be anything special. Like he's not behind anybody that's fast, like a really fast guy. So he's not learning the line like I speculated before. I don't know. Maybe it just takes a little bit. Takes a little bit to get settled into a rhythm, and maybe that's where it comes out in the second race. Not too sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Guys, we got live timing up right after this. We had well, actually, hold on a minute. Let me see. Oh, we do. Okay. Live timing right here.
We do.
Yeah, we do have live timing right here. So, Renaud is on pole with a 2:03 point. Wait a minute. What? That doesn't make any sense. Why is Chris starting third in that final session? He ran a 0.97. I'm confused.
I'm confused as well.
Let me just read these off for you guys so you can see it. So we've got Renaud on pole with 2:03.096. Bokit exactly.
Oh, maybe his lap didn't count because I've got Chris with a 2:03.
Yeah, 2:03.2. Yeah. Oh, maybe it was a dirty lap. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
No,
okay.
But I saw it on the live timing though. I saw it on the live timing, so they entered it. But I think what happened was that he didn't need to run those other laps. I think he did 5 laps in the first session.
Okay, that's interesting. Anyways, I'm going to go through the rest of the grid. EVR Matt as well, starting 10th. You know, we were just talking about him, and that's where he's starting his 10th. Clearly, he's starting where he's been finishing, and I'd like to see him in the first race move up a little bit. But we'll see. He's got some tough guys in front of him. Bokit 2nd, Chris 3rd, Lawrence 4th, Roadrunner 5th. And those guys are all.
We're not going to talk about Lawrence out qualifying Roadrunner, no.
I'm not done yet. Hold on. I was just going to say the top 4, or excuse me, the top 5 are within less than 4/10 of each other, almost nearly 3/10 of each other.
It's very impressive. That's a stacked top part of the grid. I mean, it goes all the way down to Martin in 8th place. That's less than a second separating the top 8.
Yeah, and then the split for the entire lobby is 2 seconds. Sweden Pro with a 2:05.1.
That's quite a lot.
Well, it sort of gaps. So I mean, when you get into the 204s, these guys started getting separated. I mean, you start seeing. I mean, you got the guys in the 204s: Unseen Saint, Matt, Warwick, Matt Gaming. I mean, there's only 4 people or 5 people in the 204s with HCCR Blackout starting 13th. Martin dipping into the 203s as well, and a guy we haven't seen this entire series, a privateer, ART Burl, I believe it's pronounced, with a 203.8. He's going to be starting 7th, right behind Flawful or Flowfall. I'm curious to see what he does because we've never seen him before.
I mean, he's up there. He's in the 203, so I mean, he's got a lot of potential. I think.
So
hard to say.
This is gonna be quite interesting. Guys to note in Pro-Am lobby. I mean, Wolf's not starting, and then Hamish and Cerberus not racing today, as well as Wolf, and then Hyasa and Racers starting in the Pro-Am lobby. And remember, there's no relegation. I mean, Delta usually does the relegation for these.
Top 3, bottom 3, etc.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. It's a great system. Mixes it up quite nicely, but can really ruin your night if you just have a bit of bad luck, like I did last time I raced one of those relegation races.
But it's not in this series, so it's the lobby qualifying is the lobby that you're at. So looks like it's going to be a drop round for both Hyasa and Racers, which I mean is disappointing. I mean as well, Racers. If you look at the standings as well, I mean Racers does have. I mean the guy's got 5 podiums and 6 starts. 4 wins, and his average finish is first in both races. He's leading the standings in the EU by 37 points. I don't think this round is going to hurt him that much because even right now as it stands, his drop round is 182, which is higher than Roadrunner's highest rounds, both at 179. So I really don't think he's in too much trouble using this as a drop round for, you know,
I mean, it just means that he can't
region.
have a bad round from here on out. This is his bad round. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 races. Well, he's got 2 races to go if he wants to win the regional championship. And you know, he's just really gonna have to bring the pain for the next 2 races. I mean, and just not make those mistakes that he made here. I mean, Suzuka's a really challenging track for this car. There's a lot of different technical sections that this car struggles in because it struggles to go slow and change directions. But we'll see.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Roadrunner also used his drop round already by not participating in round 2 at Sebring. So he's
not having the best of qualifyings.
He's in the same boat. But we also know that Roadrunner is very good at coming through the field. He's very good at passing drivers and coming through the field. So
he's very good at just going door to door with you and just making you really upset for the rest of your life.
Yeah, pretty much. He's really good at overtaking. So yeah.
Okay.
So looking forward to this. We got most of the drivers here in the lobby. I just want to touch on what happened last week in the U.S. side. So I mean, we saw a lot of messing about going on in the U.S. side, and the stewards at Delta Online Racing handled it accordingly. You know, they whatchamacallit, they posted on the forums. Excuse me. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. They posted on the forums, so you guys can see who got penalties, and you can also see the videos on what the penalties were. But I mean, basically, they're pretty much saying, you know, that racing's not going to be tolerated again. So I mean, if you got a penalty, there's probably a pretty good reason for it.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, there's not too much dispute. Like, you're just copying what you get. It was pretty unacceptable. We saw some really good clips, like some pretty irrefutable clips. Doesn't really matter how bad the latency was. Those moves should never have been made. So I think they're pretty fair penalties. Just a bit more respect needs to be shown. I think a bit more patience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem, is that the people just get impatient with the latency and they get frustrated. And I get that it gets to you, but I'm sure there's certain things in real life that get frustrating when you're racing, like how hot the car gets and stuff, and how much sweat is in your eyes underneath that helmet. But you have to deal with it. So.
Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. We have a video real quick.
Something to add to the realism.
Yeah.
Go on, play the video.
I was going to say, we have a video real quick that we want to show you guys if you guys missed it last week. But here's what happened last week. Oh, man.
Too wide for the king. Told you not to do it. I warned you at the start of the race, guys. Don't do it. Oh my god, 3 wide into the corkscrew.
Oh my.
Oh no.
Billy Sue's
There might be some scrappy races, and maybe there's some adjudication post-race.
Oh, that's a tap from Billy Sue in that solo round. Fujiwara is trying to hold these guys off. Fujiwara locking up the brakes. Oh, and his engine's going solo. They're both off in the corkscrew. Almost trying to find his way back through. Oh, that's a tap.
Switching to the wall.
Oh. Mixer's around. He's going to sim switch off of Arctic Inferno into the grass. There's somebody else off as well.
6 cars battling for second place.
Oh, Gigi, later on the brakes, he makes a space where there isn't one. And Julian didn't like that at all.
That kink is not a way to go. You will end in tears, like I said. Zoom late on the brakes. Oh, there's some pushing, shoving.
Pumping Gigi. Gigi's got to merge back on the track. Oh, Billy Sue got in.
Oh, no.
Billy Sue got into the skyline. That 4th spot. These are battle for podium positions right now. So, jeez. Gigi saves that car. Yeah, so, I mean, that was sort of like a little bit of like a review from last week as well. A lot of those were reviewed as well or given penalties or warnings. Check the forums as well. You guys can see the exact incident and what was applied for the penalty. That U.S. race is going to be live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. GMT, about 4 hours from now. But looks like we're ready to go. And
I'm not in a lobby. Which lobby are we in?
You join off of Renaud, Bokit, Chris,
I'll just join
Lawrence,
off Bokit. Yeah.
Roadrunner, Flawful. I mean, there's your starting grid. And also, guys, as well, we have a new overlay this week. I don't know if I showed it briefly last week. It is the cutoff overlay. On the bottom, you guys can see the numbers associated with each driver that is near the cutoff line. And then the cutoff overlay up there is in your top left of the screen. So you guys can see sort of who is on the bubble and look out for them on stream. So we're going to go through the grid here. No pace car this week as well because we had Steve is not here this week, but we're going to go through the grid. Starting on pole position is Legion GTR driver Renaud, putting in a blistering lap time of a 2:03 flat. Starting in the second position, Aerox Bokit. Starting third is Aerox Chris, and then starting fourth is AMR Lawrence, one of the drivers that we've been keeping our eye on throughout this series. First round we didn't really see too much of him and his potential, but he's really shown us that he's got the pace to compete with the top guys.
Yep. Right behind him is the lowest qualifying that he's ever had, and that's Williams Roadrunner in fifth, and then followed by our good friend GTR Floflay. I believe that's pronounced correctly now.
Floflaw.
And Floflaw. Okay, Floflaw. That actually makes sense. That sounds super French. Behind him is our newcomer, ART Beal. And in 8th place, we have DOR Martin.
Good qualifying effort from Martin, qualifying 8th. Really impressed with him right there. So looking forward to see if he can maybe move up the field a little bit. Yeah, good stuff there. Starting 9th is Renaud's teammate, actually, GTR Unseen Saint. Been a bit unseen this series, sort of riding in the middle of the back of the pack, but hopefully we see a little bit more.
Dad jokes.
Starting in the 11th position, or excuse me, starting in the 10th position, is EVR Matt, teammate to Wolves, who is not racing today, and Matt Gaming as well. Starting 11th is another GTR driver, Warwick, and I don't know why I can't see his livery. And starting 12th is Wolf's teammate, Matt Gaming.
In 13th place we have HCCR Blackout, so he's done really well, actually, I think.
He's going to be on AMR following this series as well, so good for him.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So in 14th place we got Aerox Nismo. Pretty consistently towards the back of A lobby, I think. I haven't seen him up any further, which is a bit of a shame. I'd like to see him improve. And then behind him is WRT Sweden Pro.
Someone we haven't seen in a while, actually, since week 1. So I'm really looking forward to see how he does. Maybe he can do some damage in the reverse grid. So they're coming around now to get set up on the grid. And looking forward to, I see you guys shouting out GTR and Aerox in the chat. Being a part of GTR myself, I guess I got to root for GTR. So go Renaud. Who do you guys think is going to win this race? I think it's going to be tight between those top 5 guys. I really think they're going to break away. Roadrunner, Lawrence, Chris, Bokit. I think they're all going to break away. So this is race number 1 in the pro lobby for the Delta Online Racing Gallardo Super Cup Championship. We are on board with our newcomer, ART Burrow, getting ready for the green flag.
Burrell, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say.
Hear the engines revving. I don't know either. Engines are revving, and we are green. Flowflock gets a terrible start. So does Lawrence. Martin's going to pick up 3 positions off of that. Terrible start from those guys. There must have been a desync, because that is terrible news for those guys. That's a real shame. Both of them qualified really well, but some of these guys take advantage. And Chris is threatening for the lead already.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty critical to get that start. It's always a really unfortunate circumstance if you don't get to go off the line. Oh, people are going all over the place back there. But yeah, you can lose a lot of positions off the start line because everyone's gridded so closely together.
I'm going to hop up on board with Bokit here as we've got a three-way battle for the lead right now. These guys look really strong. Good clean start from a lot of these drivers. A little bit of a wiggle from Chris right there. He keeps the momentum up. And Renaud starts to pull a little bit of a gap now as they come into the 10 and 11. Oh, and contact from Roadrunner. Roadrunner's made his way past whoever was in fourth. I think that was Lawrence who got the terrible start. Now he's peeking up, looking on Bokit now, trying to pick up a podium position already as Burl is up to fifth.
Yeah, Burl's had a great start to this race. I mean, he's hanging with Roadrunner there. Definitely showing some good pace, not really falling off. Maybe a little bit. See if he can stay with these guys as they go through the final complex.
Starting to break off now.
Feet. It's good to see WRT Sweden Pro making up some pit positions back there. I swung into 13th place.
I just saw Lawrence is all the way down to 15th.
Oh, after such a good qualifying, that's a shame.
I know, it's a real shame. Renaud, great chicane from Renaud. He had Chris all over the back bumper of him. Look at the gap he's pulled out now on Chris.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Lap number one. Yeah, Renaud really looking strong here in the beginning. Missed the first round, but he's been on point since he came in at Sebring. He was a little wide through 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's pretty critical to get your line right through this section. These S's, very difficult, very technical, and this car does not like changing directions or really behaving under, like, coasting, that's what I suppose you'd call it.
These guys are still saying single file here. Let's hop back a little bit. I'm going to hop back to Aerox Nismo to see if there's anything going on back here. Lawrence is back in 14th, back with Matt Gaming in 15th. So a couple of those guys losing out. They must have had it coming together. Flofile is still back in. He's looking threatening on Nismo right now.
Nismo, yeah.
Trying to gain that spot back. If they're starting 6th, what a shame. He had such a good qualifying. And now he's all the way back in the 11th position. It's a crucial round for him. He has an opportunity to gain a lot of points. As that's Warwick going wide in the hairpin. Unseen Saint cannot capitalize.
That was a handbrake from Nismo, I believe. That was cheeky, but I'll allow it. But that's what we were talking about. It can sometimes work. It can sometimes just slow you down a little bit, but he's really... Yeah, that was a bit awkward from Warwick there.
Oh, contact with Blackout. Flofile's trying to get that car under control, and he's going to lose multiple positions as Sweden Pro slides his way underneath him, but can't get the job done. Hop back up to the lead here. Chris and Renaud have pulled away a little bit from Bokit, and it's a little bit more back to Roadrunner now.
Yeah, Roadrunner got a really poor exit on 130R, getting all over that outside curve and getting real twitchy. I thought Brielle was going to come onto him there, but not quite. He's kind of just in a bubble on his own.
Chris looks really strong right now. I'm really impressed with the pace he's putting down. As Renaud's got the lead, trying to hold it down here. Good line from Chris. Is absolutely nailing these apexes. Renaud's a little squirrely, and he makes contact with Renaud going through the S's. Renaud's trying to defend. You can see he's taking a more narrow line into this 5 here. And Chris is all over the back bumper. There is not a paperclip's width between those cars. And here comes Bokit in third.
Yeah, through those S's, you really just have to stick to your guns, hold your line, and Renaud did a great job of doing that. Just didn't give Chris an inch. And Chris did a great job just following him, like giving him that paperclips with distance. Not easy to do. It's good stuff, good racing.
This is really good racing now. Look at Chris all over the back bumper right now. Renaud goes defensive. Chris looking for the cutback on the inside, gets the late apex, taps the back bumper of Renaud. They got even speed trying to get that side draft. Renaud's not giving him any opportunity to pass. See Boket looking back there, and Roadrunner as well. Now into Spoon.
This is that awkward corner, that off-camber corner. Focus got a good run through there. Focus got a run on Chris.
Yeah, Chris got on the curb. You can see it. Chris got on the curb. It's unsettled his car. It slid him to the outside just a bit. Got him loose. He lost a little bit of momentum, and now he's going to be on the defensive going into 130R, which is what you don't want to be. Boket shows him some teammate respect, though. Doesn't want to go too wide through there.
Oh, Chris has got sucked off just now. That's it for Chris.
Oh, no. Oh, and he's in the tire wall.
It's a good thing it's not simulation damage.
Yeah. He's trying to find a good spot to merge on. He's going to fall all the way back. What a shame. All the way back to 13th. Here on lap number 4. Wow.
Renaud did a great job living up to that pressure. Chris just couldn't keep up the pace. Always difficult to follow somebody that closely, but yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Taking a bit of an awkward line through 130R really unsettled him.
We'll have to monitor his progress as Chris is back in the 11th position. We'll have to see how far he can come back through in these last 5 laps.
You know what? I think he's deliberately sandbagging so he can get the win next race. I think that's what's happening.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is all the way back in the 13th position now.
That was the most convincing sandbag I've ever seen there. I've never seen anybody sandbag so convincingly. Yeah.
Our newcomer, ART Burl, is up to 4th position after starting in that 7th spot. He's just been lurking. He's been capitalizing on others' mistakes, keeping his nose clean. Really impressive drive from him right now. He's showing that he's got pace to be somewhat near Roadrunner and Boket, and he's pulling away from Martin. So, I mean, good run from him. I don't know the ART team very well, but, I mean, he's putting on a good show right now, representing them very well. As Roadrunner goes really wide in Spoon. Hop back here a little bit. Go back to Unseen Satan at 8th position. Do we have any battles going on around the track? Jason, do we have any battles going on? These guys look like they're really spread out.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, they do look really spread out, and that's something that's to do with Suzuka. Because of that single file area, if you make a mistake anywhere through there, you will lose a lot of time and hold people up behind you, and then it sort of just stacks up and compounds, and you end up getting this spread out look. There's a bit of a train forming back here from about 8th to 12th. But nothing really exciting to look at. I mean, looks like Floflau is... No, not Floflau. Lawrence is on the back of... No. Yep. He was on the back of Blackout, but getting a poor run out of the chicane there, Blackout's pulled out a bit of a gap on him.
Well, Chris is all the way back to 15th now with Sweden Pro in 14th. They must have had it coming together because they weren't all the way back there. Now
That's a shame. Sweden Pro was making headway, and now he is all the way back at the back again. But see, I told you Chris was sandbagging. He's going to start on pole for the next race, and he's going to have an easy ride while everybody else tries to work their way through the field.
Yeah, really. So Renaud's got a half a second lead over Boket, and then it's 2.5 from the leader to that 3rd place position of Roadrunner. So not too much action. We're not missing anything up front.
Roadrunner's actually not looking too strong this round. I mean, I've seen him, every time I go to him, he's always twitching off a curb or getting a poor exit. Like, he's got decent pace, but he's not gaining ground on Boket or Renaud there. He's really just sort of holding position and just, you know, just getting those points. Doesn't really need to do anything from here.
Yeah, he doesn't look, you know, his normal self. You know, I mean, he's pretty set in the points in terms of making it through. But what I'm looking for right now, I'm on board with Floflau or Floflau, excuse me. And you know, it's a slide from Nismo. This is a really important round. He's in the 8th, 9th, 10th range right now. He's got to get by these guys. He's got to get up where Unseen Saint is right now because he's, you know, Floflau is sitting 36 points outside the cut line in that 12th spot. He needs to take advantage of the fact that these 3 guys in front of him are not racing. And Nismo is all the way back in the standings, and I believe it is right behind Hayasa. 44 points out. So these guys, you know, these are your bubble drivers. These are the guys that are trying to really make some headway. As Lawrence is now stalking behind them. And he looks really strong after qualifying 4th.
Yeah, really solid pace from Lawrence. I'd like to see him catch that little group there. Maybe he can start mixing it up with those guys. I think that's Flow really on the back of Nismo there. Nismo with the slide.
Flow trying to get around him now. He knows he needs this position. He looks a little unsettled in the car, getting on the curves, a little bit of sliding going on with these guys. They don't look like they're in complete control of their cars as Unseen Saint starts to pull a little bit of a gap on them now.
Yeah, all you can really do through that S section is just apply as much pressure as you can. As Nismo nearly runs wide on turn 7 there. That was a close one. But, yep, Dunlop curve into the Degnars. Oh, yeah, Flow with a really good line through there. Cutting as much of the track as he can, but still maintaining clean. He's still 2 wheels on the circuit, so that's a really good line.
Unlike Nismo, who went all 4 off, the stewards might want to take a look at that as Unseen Saint goes really wide. And that's a handbrake pull. That puff of smoke you saw out of Flow was a handbrake pull on the middle of the corner.
Apex.
Try to get that car rotated more. Unfortunately, it suffered on exit. Is now Unseen Satan starting to fall back into the clutches of this group, and Lawrence has caught up. Flow needs to get on the move now if he wants. Oh, and that's Looks like he just lost the front end. Looks like he just lost the front end.
Yeah, on the exit of Spoon there, it is off camber, and if you just accelerate just a little bit too early, or just a little bit, you know, turn in a little bit too late, it'll just put you wide, and that's what we saw there. He tried to recover, and unfortunately Lawrence wasn't ready for him to get off the gas, and kind of went into the back of him there.
Yeah, really disappointing race for a lot of these guys. Flow, really disappointing race for him after qualifying 6th. He's all the way back. And we've got Renault. What happened to Bokit?
Oh, goodness knows.
Roadrunner got around Bokit
there somewhere. Yeah. No, it looks like Bokit definitely made a mistake. Yeah.
Nismo with another
far
slide.
back. Roadrunner's not closer. He's the same distance sort of to Renault and Bokit. Oh, well, they were before, but it looks like Bokit's just come off the track and had to rejoin the position. So at least he didn't lose out too much. 1 place is not so bad, unlike Chris, poor guy, all the way back down to 14th place.
So Flow and Chris are going to be set up really well for the reverse grid as we're on lap 8 of 9 now. 1.5 laps to go. Lawrence looks really good here, trying to get around Nismo. Nismo's got to do whatever he can to make sure that he doesn't give up this spot, because he knows he needs it. But good run out of Degner too from Lawrence. Nismo really doesn't cover
for the
off.
move.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nismo didn't cover it off either. That's a great late apex line from Lawrence, but he's going to lose it on exit. Oh, I've got a Forza loading.
Did we just lose someone?
Here.
Yeah, I've got that too. It's long and excessive. Hopefully we didn't lose anyone.
Bokit 6 seconds back from the leader as Nismo goes wide, and Lawrence is going to go right through.
Just gets caught out by Spoon. Spoon's just really awkward, really technical out of just the fast section. It's more of a hairpin, and yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you can put somebody offline or just pressure them into a little bit of a mistake to carry too much speed into there, you're going to be past them, no worries. Oh no, bad run through 130R. Sees Lawrence get away.
Yeah, I was going to say Nismo wasn't giving up yet, but poor run through 130R. A little deep on the brakes from Nismo as well, and that's going to see Lawrence through. I don't think he's going to have enough time to make it back. Lap. Yeah.
Yeah. He tried to make it back under braking and just outbraked himself there. That's going to really hurt his chances of fighting back on Lawrence.
Yeah. Chris with a 202.8, I believe, is your fastest driver of the race. I believe your leaders, Roadrunner and Renaud, are running around the 203 flat mark. Blackout lagged out. Blackout had a lag out.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's not what we want to see. No worries. Onward we go. I mean, Suzuka was always going to be one of those tracks where not a lot of passing was going to go on. It is a really technical track. The battles you see are sort of more pressure-based, and then side-by-side action. So I think that's probably why Roadrunner's struggling a little bit, maybe. Maybe his tune's not quite there, hard to say.
Yeah, I'm on board right now with Matt, and Matt is up into the 6th position. Like that other like our newcomer, he's just been taking advantage of other people's mistakes, and he's up into that 6th spot, showing us he's got the pace, and very impressed with his first race run. I know we kind of gave him some crap in the beginning about averaging a 10th place finish in race number 1, but doing a great job here, almost breaking into that top 5. Looks like he's gaining pace on Martin as well.
A really good race from Martin. I think that's one of Martin's highest finishes, I would say. Top 5. I think it's his first top 5. Yeah.
I don't think he's ever gotten
so
a top
really
5,
good job from him. And they just kept their consistency up, and that's what you really got to do as Suzuka, is just really stick to your guns, really have like a really stable tune, and just be able to put in the laps. There's not a lot of places where you can throw it up the inside or do anything drastic and aggressive, so that's pretty much what you have to do here, is just race nice and consistent and apply pressure where you need to.
Yeah. Coming across the line for the final time here in race number 1 is GTR Renaud taking the win here in race number 1 with a commanding lead for his first win of the season, with a massive gap back to Roadrunner and Bokit rounding out the top 3 on the podium. So great run from him. Renaud doing a great job as well. Really, really awesome.
Taking pole, taking the race win. That's a solid effort. That's some good points for him. I think that's his first 2-point pole, so good stuff.
Yeah, so pole and race 1 win. We'll see how he can come through the field. I think Chris is going to have this, with finishing 14th in this race number 1, barring any crazy incident. I think he's going to have this next race on wraps, showing, he was the 2nd fastest driver in this race, if not the fastest, all over. Looked like he might have had the pace on right now, to be honest. And just, doing a great, he's probably going to win the next race. I mean, barring anything crazy, but yeah. Let's take a look at the previous race results. Renaud first, Roadrunner second, Bokit third, ART Burl coming in 4th position. Great run from him, the first time we're seeing him. And DOR Martin coming in 5th. First top 5 of the year. So, a couple of guys doing really well. Like we said, absence of racers being in lobby, the Pro-Am lobby. And then we've got Hamish, Wolfs, and Cerberus all missing. I mean, some of these guys are pulling out some really good finishes.
Absolutely. I mean, really good job from Burrell and Martin. I really thought Martin did a really good job there. He gained a lot of positions off the start. Had pretty solid qualifying, but then just kept his head down, raced his race. Didn't try to win or anything like that. He just kept his head down and just made up those positions and got a top 5 finish. It's pretty solid. I mean, you can't really be upset with that.
Yeah, I feel really
horror stories as well, by the way.
I was gonna say, yeah,
cool.
I feel really bad for Lawrence starting in that 4th position, falling all the way back and finishing 9th, and then starting 6th was Flowflaw, and he finished all the way back in the 11th position, I believe. So some really, and then obviously Chris starting 2nd, challenging for the win and falling all the way back to 14th.
Watching Chris make that mistake was. I just saw it coming. Like, as soon as I saw him offline in 130R, he tried to keep the same speed as Bowker through there, and I was just like, no, that's not the line. And then he ran wide over that curb, and as he's coming back onto the track, I was like, that's too much speed. He's got to go over to the other side. And, I just saw it all happening, and was just really, that's tough. That's a heartbreak for Chris. But at least he's sandbagged for this race, so solid effort there. He's going to be starting up at the front there. So we knew that was your strategy from the start, Chris. We're on to you, mate.
Yeah, I feel so bad for for him though, because I thought we were gonna have a really good battle for the lead there. I thought these guys were gonna be duking it out, we just we don't get to see that now. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna be challenging him for that win. I mean, we've got Sweden Pro starting on pole, I believe, for this race number 2. No, actually, excuse me, it's gonna be Chris on pole because Blackout DNF'd, so Chris finished 14th. And Falafel finished 13th. Okay. Wow. He fell even further back.
Yeah, Falafel kind of just got tangled up in a couple of awkward situations, and they're just, he'd made a couple of mistakes. I don't know if his setup is as stable as he'd like. Particularly when you're following somebody at this track, it's really, like, this car struggles to follow in a slow situation, because when you steer, like, you want to try and tune as much oversteer in, or as much twitchiness and turn in as you can, so the car's kind of unsettled in a slow, like, rolling pace, and when you're following someone, you really have to, like, slow and roll behind them, and that's when the car becomes really unstable, and I think that's what was catching him out, is he just couldn't keep the car settled when tailgating someone, and yeah, just made a couple of pretty unfortunate errors.
Yeah, that really sucked for him, though. I was really looking forward to seeing his pace, but we'll see what he does compared to Chris, because he's going to be starting right behind him on the reverse grid. So we'll get to see.
Maybe you can just follow him through.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guys that are really set up well are Chris. I bet you Chris is going to be first. Floflau probably is going to be second. And I think Lawrence starting in sixth. He's got a good shot to come up through the field as well. And you know what I saw from Unseen Saint? He's going to be starting seventh in this race. He didn't seem too far off the pace of Lawrence. So I'm looking for him to maybe challenge Lawrence for a podium position in this race as well. Hopefully we can see him as the Seen Saint instead of the Unseen Saint, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see who's got the pace, who's got the race ability, the race craft to hold their car behind somebody else. Like, Chris was doing a great job behind Renaud there, but as you saw, just gets a bit loose.
Yeah. So
track.
I mean, it was perfect conditions in the first race, but unfortunately we also have a 60% chance of fog at the end of this race as well. So I think we're going to see a lot. Visibility is going to be tough. You're going to have less grip in this race. You're not going to see low 203 race pace in this race. You're just not. It's not going to be a thing. If someone runs a low 203, I will be shocked.
I don't think I will be. I think a low 203, like a 203.3 from Chris is certainly that's like half a second of his ultimate pace. So I think that's possible, but difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, we did see that. Chris ran a 202.8. So we'll see what these guys run. I mean, I don't think we're going to see low 203s though. But then again, I could be wrong. But the lack of grip, the slower lap times a little bit in this race are going to lead to some interesting racing, especially side by side. If they try to go side by side through the S's in the beginning, the 2, 3, 4, 5, I will. There isn't two lines through there, but if we see two lines, it'll be very interesting to see, especially on the reverse grid. Everyone's going to be scrambling. We'll have to see who's going to be the big gainer off the start.
I reckon the big gainer is going to be Chris. He's going to be up front as long as he can get a good start to the race. Everyone's going to sort of fight for position through the S's there, and he's going to have a really good opportunity to break away and get into some clean air and run by himself. I'm really expecting Chris to take this win, and that'll be great for him because it'll be his first win of the season. I'm looking forward to that.
For sure, yeah. I think Lawrence is going to be the big gainer here. He's starting in that sixth position. He's got a really, really good opportunity to get past Nismo, get past Mac Gaming, get past Sweden Pro, and get himself on that podium position. Challenge for second on Floflau. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And we also got to keep an eye on the guys in the back. What will ART Burl bring to the table? How good is he at overtaking? We know Roadrunner's one of the best overtaking drivers in all of Forza. He's starting second to last.
And this isn't an overtaking track, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of room to pass here. We saw pretty much no passing going on.
Right, and that's
no real passing. It was all just like capitalizing on mistakes that people made by applying pressure.
And that's more to Roadrunner's advantage because if it's harder to pass, he'll find a way to pass him.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
His ability to go door to door and just hang it around the outside and just be offline, that's his real strength. Like, a lot of people don't, you never really practice offline. Do you know what I mean? Like you always practice the optimum line. So it's always interesting to see somebody who's just naturally good at taking a different braking point, like judging whether or not to brake a little bit earlier or a little bit later, just to hang it around the outside or cut up the inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is, now that you mentioned that as well, I'm really curious to see how Renaud comes through the field. He showed us that he has the pace. Now show us that you can overtake people with that pace, especially on a track like this when you're gonna have lack of grip because the track isn't as sunny as it was in the first race. You're not going to have as much grip. So he needs to definitely get a good start, and hopefully there's no disconnect or desyncs as well, because Lawrence, it looked like Lawrence and Floflaw had some kind of desync issue, and
they didn't go. Yeah,
they just didn't go. So
that's really upsetting. I mean, I'd like to be able to set up a grid light on this game. That the launch is so critical. Like getting a good start. The amount of times I've gained positions just from a good start, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. It just brings that extra element into racing. And honestly, the more elements you can bring to racing, the more entertaining it is.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, people were wondering like, hey, why aren't we just going on Forza Go? These cars don't need an outlap. Well, one, we want to show the liveries, want to do you guys a grid walk. But the other thing is, it allows people to time those starts and get a jump. If it's just Forza start, everyone gets the same start if you're mashed on throttle, especially an all-wheel drive car that's not going to have any wheel spin. Everyone's going to have the same start. Everyone's going to be single file. But if we have everyone going at slightly different times, someone went a millisecond before he did, and then he went 4 milliseconds before he did. It allows people to get runs in the first turn. We see side-by-side action. It allows someone to gain so much on the first straightaway as well. It provides insane action, and I just don't think we have all of that.
Big deal.
Yeah, we wouldn't get all of that with a Forza start.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the more elements you can bring to this sort of just bring to racing, the better. Like you see it in GT Sport with the pit stops and the different tire compounds. All those different elements just make the racing and the different strategies and stuff that people employ. It's all really exciting stuff for us. I'm sure for you as well. You know what I mean? Like it's just that much more involved. Like you can really see what they're thinking or why they're thinking that, rather than just, oh, I went on green, I just held the throttle.
Yeah, exactly. So I just also got a message from Blackout as well. He was saying that he is very angry that he lagged out. But unfortunately for him as well, he's going to be starting last because
at the back, yeah.
And it looks like we're missing someone as well.
It does look like we're missing someone. Potentially they couldn't make the second round. It's hard to say.
Sweden Pro. Looks like we're missing Sweden Pro.
Guess he wasn't feeling it. That's understandable. He sort of hasn't been around. His points aren't there, so he doesn't need to race this race like a lot of the other guys. Bit of a shame for people in the B lobby, though. They could have used that spot. I'm sure Warwick would have liked it. Oh, wait, no, Warwick's in this lobby. Never mind. I'm trying to think who's in B lobby that is normally in A lobby. I can't really think of anybody.
Yeah, for sure. So here we go. Race number 2. We're going to take you guys through the grid. Aerox Chris starting on pole position. Driver who had such an unfortunate race number 1. Hopefully to see, hope to see him do really well in this race, as well as GTR Falafel starting in that second position. Had a really, really terrible first race. Hopefully he has a good recovery race here. Starting in the second position. Starting third, we have Matt Gaming. Haven't seen too much of him this series. I hope to see a little bit more of him. Hopefully he can hold down his own in front of Aerox Nismo, who's starting in that 4th position.
Yeah, starting 5th is our big draw card for this reverse grid is Lawrence. We're looking for him to make up a couple of positions early on. Don't know if he'll quite chase down Chris. Chris's pace is absolutely ridiculous here. But
well, in qualifying, he was within a 10th of Chris. So
within a 10th, yeah, for sure. But Chris is going to start out in front. He's going to make up those 3 positions before he can even begin to think about chasing down Chris. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. In 6th is his kicker's favorite pun for the day is GTR Unseen Saint. Not quite a good showing from him. He's kind of had a forgettable race this round, but he's doing okay. He's doing okay. Following him is a legend in the community, is GTR Warwick. Pretty solid race from him in the first round, just consistent but uneventful, I'd say. Following him is in 8th place is EVR Matt. Just sort of, I didn't see much of him last race, did you?
No, he's just kind of floating around that middle spot, yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of had his head down and ran his pace, and that was where his pace was about middle, so
yeah.
There you go.
Starting right behind him in 9th position, first top 5 of the year for him in race number 1 was Dior Martin. Looking forward to seeing how he can combat the reverse grid and make his way through the field. Starting in the 10th position is ART Burrell, a newcomer. We're just going to keep calling him a newcomer because we haven't seen him yet this whole year. Starting 11th is Arox Bokit. And then starting 12th is Williams Roadrunner, who finished in the 2nd position in the previous race.
Yeah, and bringing up the field is your race winner from race 1 is GTR Renaud. Looking forward to see how he'll cut through a grid. Typically, we haven't seen him do really strong in the reverse grid, despite his average finish in the reverse grid being a 4th place. And heartbreak story of the year, HCCR Blackout cannot catch a break. He's got decent pace, but he's just really unlucky. Kind of like a Skyline of the EU series. Constantly at the back of the field because of incidences outside of his control. Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but that's racing, guys.
For sure, yeah. So I'm going to start here on EVR Matt as you see Warwick sideways in his sort of starting box there.
He's looking for that excellent launch just into the middle lane there. That's what I'm seeing. A really aggressive gridding position from Warwick. I like that. I like that.
They're ready to go. You guys can hear the engines revving. Race number 2 of the Pro Lobby. On board with EVR Matt here for the start. Looking on to Warwick, Unseen St. Lawrence, and the rest of the field. Who's going to take the race to win? Chris on pole and a green light. Good start from, who is that? Oh, a terrible start from Floffel again as they're 4 wide. Floffel's going to fall from 2nd to 7th, maybe even 8th as Chris storms away. Nismo a little bit into the back of Unseen Saint as Matt's trying to go around the outside. A good strong move from Matt here around the outside. He's going to take that 6th spot.
Oh. Bit of light contact. Looks pretty scrappy, but everyone's staying on track, which is really good to see.
Yeah, really good to see everyone still on track.
Positions.
They're starting to go single file now as they come through the S's. You don't want to be double file through here. Still a couple of cars double file in the back there. Looks like Martin's losing a couple of positions to those fast guys back there.
He's getting absolutely bullied back there, yeah.
Yeah. And just as we thought, we've got Lawrence up in that 2nd position, stalking Chris as Chris leads here halfway through lap 1.
Yeah, kind of what we expected. Chris to sort of just run away with that that lead position there. Lawrence easily cutting through the pack there. Really good job from him, by the way. That's got to feel good to be able to make those 3 positions up really quickly. Or is it 2 positions? 2 positions. Yeah. But yeah, that's looking good for him.
See who the biggest mover is right now. ART Burrell is up to that 9th position. Looking to take the position away from Floflaw there in 8th. And Bokit's up to 11th. Not too much shuffling back here. Renaud's still battling for 12th, or excuse me, 13th. As Martin's all the way back and about to lose 13th position.
I just saw that Blackout's up to 10th place. So from the very final grid, he's passed Roadrunner, Valkit.
Oh, right when you say that, commentator's curse.
Curse of the commentator, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Falls to Roadrunner and Bokit.
And now he's getting bullied.
Yeah.
Bit of light contact though, that's okay. I mean, he didn't get pushed offline or anything, so that's fine. A little bit of nudging going on, a bit of trading of paint. As Renaud has the run here on Belt Blackout. That's unfortunate.
I'm on board with ART Burrell. Yeah, I know, what a shame. As Renaud's up to 12th now. Floffel squeezing him. Not going to give up that position easily.
You got to really hold your guns through here. This is the single file area. It's very difficult to run a counter line here. Like, you can't run side by side. It's very difficult to not really squeeze, but it's just the track's clearly wide enough, but there's just the optimal line is so much quicker than any other line that you can't really force side by side action through that section.
Yeah, for sure. There's Roadrunner and Bokit stalking ART Burrow there. We're not missing anything up front. Chris has an 8/10 of a second lead over 2nd place AMR Lawrence. So nothing to miss up there. This is where all the action is right now as the guy's trying to come through the field. As Matt has broken into the top 5 now, looking for 4th.
Works. Oh.
Coming into Spoon. I'm not even up there. Right now I'm on Bokit. Good strong move.
That was a good pass.
Into Spoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Burrell's not done yet.
Cut back there.
Burrell's not done yet. Now he is.
Bokit, that was a really strong move, and that's what I was saying is Spoon is like a really good corner to make a pass. If you can push somebody off their line, it's very hard to maintain momentum through there. A little bit too wide from Bokit. He's going to be okay. That's good.
Roadrunner going really wide. Out of 130 yard. Taps the back bumper of Burrell.
Oh, Matt Gaming's in the wall. Matt
Where?
Gaming was parked at the end of that chicane. Just
Oh,
as he went through there, I just saw him spun around there, yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
That's no good. That means I think Warwick's up to third. Yep.
Wow, so Chris in first, Lawrence second, Warwick rounding out your podium finishers. Matt's up to fourth, and Nismo holding down the top five. So Flo falls up to seventh now. Bokit still wants to get around him. Unseen Saint up there in sixth as well. Everyone looks really single file.
It's really a waiting game through this section, and I do kind of almost regret choosing this track for this series, but at the same time, it's super intense to this car. I can really feel the fucking pressure from these guys right now.
Yeah.
Oh, good move from Floffe.
What a move from Floffe, get around his teammate.
And then Bowkit.
Here comes Roadrunner through as well. Unseen Saint's going to lose a ton of positions. Floffe forcing Bokit wide. They're 3 wide coming out of the hairpin. Floffe in the middle. Bokit moves his way back out onto the track. And now they're going to file in. Roadrunner uses the momentum and the banking to get up the inside of Floffe. As they come into Spoon now, and Floffe backs out of it. Back into 8th as Burrell comes through Unseen Saint. Now Renaud looking to come through Unseen Saint. He's going to lose 6 positions or 5 positions in half a lap. He has 4 turns, give that.
Just as I was saying that there's no action on this track, some of the best action we've seen this round. That was really good. You really saw Bokit take some good initiative there when Floffe made a move and just sort of ended up backfiring on him, something fierce.
Oh, Matt just fell all the way back, really far back.
EV on Matt making a mistake, yeah.
He missed whatever happened to him. Unfortunate for him. He's been so good in the reverse grids this entire season. So averaging a 3rd place finish, and now he's all the way back. So Bokit's up to 5th. Roadrunner's in 6th. Now the question is, can Renaud catch these guys? He's in that 8th position. He just got around Burrell. Oh, and a big slide from Floffel.
That's going to cost him that place too. Oh, bit awkward with Burrell there.
So Renaud gets through his teammate, no problem. And now he's got to set his sights on Roadrunner and Bokit here at the halfway, almost the halfway mark of this race.
He's got to really hope that Nismo ends up holding them up. Just corks Bowkit and Roadrunner in a bottle there, and that'll have Renaud on the back of them in no time.
Oh, wow, Blackout getting a little squirrely back there with Unseen Saint. A little bit of contact, but no issues there. And Renaud is starting to pull away from Flofall now. And you can see Bokit and Roadrunner are catching and have actually caught. Oh, look at Burrell squeezing his way up on the inside. There was not a space there on the inside of Flofall. And he just made one. He just spawned a spot to put his Lamborghini. Unfortunately, couldn't get the move done, though.
Yeah, some good heads-up racing here. I mean, Flofall's not giving an inch to Burrell. Oh, Burrell just with a bit of a push. But he backs out of it. That's some good stuff.
He did back out. Good sportsmanship from him.
Oh, a bit of a
but now
Blackout's going to be able to get a run. Yes!
Yeah. Blackout's going to try to capitalize on this.
No, Blackout looks like he's backed out on Burrell. I think he knew he didn't have the run into 130R, and so decided to just back out and see if he could just get this correct line through here.
Bokit got around Nismo, and so did Roadrunner. And hop up to that battle here. Whoa! Oh, Nismo's into the tire wall in the chicane. Gets back going.
Oh, that's unfortunate. No, that was Bowkit into the tire wall in the chicane. Bowkit's dropped all the way down to 9th place.
Oh.
He's right in front of Blackout. That is not good for him. Renaud into 6th. Roadrunner in 4th. Nismo in 5th.
Back with Bokit now in that 9th position. He's behind Burl and Floffel. Burl cannot find a way around Floffel right now. He just can't.
Very difficult to go. Yeah.
I was gonna say he's been trying for half a lap now. Just can't seem to find a space. Floffel doing a great job in 7th, holding it down. And these guys better move because Bokit's gonna want those spots back that he lost. Look at Burl sniffing around that rear diffuser of Floffel. Oh no! He's in the dirt.
Yeah, Burl was doing a really good. Blackout just throws it into the tire wall.
Big mistake from him. I don't know what that was.
Sense. Didn't look like a sim twitch. It didn't.
It looked like
it could have been, but
it looked like a really bad counter steer. When you're running sim steering and you try to counter steer these cars, if you counter steer when you don't need to counter steer, it throws you in the direction you don't want to go, and then you're counter steering it. And it looks like that's what happened with him. He just threw himself into the sand.
It's a bit unfortunate. I mean, maybe he was anticipating some oversteer and just got caught out there. That's really unfortunate for Blackout. He's had such a rough race and a rough round overall. But Bowkett on the back of Flofal now. Flofal was doing a really good job before under pressure. I think Bokett's got a whole different ball game for him there. It's a little bit right to 130R there. Who are you on board with at the moment?
I'm on board with Bokett right now.
Oh, right, okay.
And you can see the fog is setting in now. It's getting really difficult to see.
It's going to be a little bit tougher to spot those apexes and keep your lines consistent in the fog. It's not just about the weather, but I wonder what the lap times are looking like. Have you checked? Have you checked recently?
No, I have not checked. Why don't you take a look for me? Oh, that's a slide from Flofal.
Oh.
And that makes it really easy for Bokett to go back through into that 7th position. Flofal was doing a great job to defend.
That corner one's been catching Flofal out a couple times. I've seen him slide through there at least twice. So, a bit unfortunate from him. Bit of a weak point. Bowkett just capitalized, or Bokett. Chris has got the fastest time with a 2:03.0. So your predictions of not a low 2:03, you're wrong.
Still on board with Bokett here. He's coming up on Nismo. Is Nismo going to make it easy on him?
Bit of team orders in play, maybe. A bit awkward through there. He's going to go wide, though.
Really weird. If he's not careful, he's going to let Flofal come into him now.
Yeah, that wasn't the best place to let Bokett pass, but if he did, he should have taken a little bit of a wider line and just sort of softly gone through that right hand there and then put himself on the outside and kind of set himself up for a cutback kind of move on Bokett and just let Bokett through. I can't really decide if it's Bowkett or Bokett. You asked him one time, which one is it?
It's Bokett.
Bokett? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, Jacob. I know we're friends. And I should know your name. It's a pretty solid recovery from Bokett. I mean, jumping down to 9th place and then recovering to 6th within 2 laps. Virtually. That's who's in the wall there?
Was someone still in the wall again?
Yeah, someone's in the wall there. I think it's Mac Gaming. No.
Oh,
It's Warwick. Oh, that's tragic.
Oh, he's all the way back in 10th.
No, he's in 14th.
Oh, he's up in 14th
he's all the way
now.
Back. Yeah. That's really unfortunate. Looking strong for a 3rd place finish, and he's just. Oh, that's upsetting.
It could be this.
If there was contact with.
I was gonna say, I don't think he was around anybody. It could have been.
No, I think he did. Gone.
I was just gonna say it could be that this fog in the less grip on the track could be throwing these guys a little bit off if they didn't prepare for it.
Yeah, I think he did the same thing as Chris. He was in the same place, and he kind of looked like he was in the same sort of shape, if that makes sense. Like just in that area, in the same sort of angle, I think he just messed up 130R, got on the curb, and it spun him around. That's heartbreaking, if I've ever seen heartbreak. You know, I'll buy you some chocolate, Warwick, and a Valentine's box of roses or something. I don't know. But that's
yeah,
rough,
I feel
dude.
so bad for him. He had such an opportunity to do so well in this race, make up a ton of points, and now he's all the way back in 14th. What a shame. What a real shame for him.
That's a lot of points missing from him as well. I mean, it really could have helped his chances of hopping to that top 8, but this is, that's going to hurt him a lot. And with only 2 laps to go, there's not a lot of time to recover those positions. That's really sad.
Yeah. So I'm
Renaud right on the back of Roadrunner right now.
Really? I am on board with Unseen Saint and Matt and our newcomer. And these guys are all on a little bit of a train here. Matt looking to gain some of those positions back that he lost. Good run on a 130R from Matt. Unseen Saint not going to cover off going into the final chicane. Really deep on the brakes. Can he make it stick, though, around the outside? Saint forces it wide, but whoa, and he's sideways. Oh, and he's going to sift right into the side.
Oh, no.
And Unseen Saint is off into the tire wall. Oh, and Matt's going to wait up for him. Wow, what a sequence of events.
That's super aggressive there. I mean, that's good for Warwick, getting those 2 positions back. That'll make him feel a little bit better, consolation prize. But Matt was super aggressive under brakes, and he did a really good job, but just didn't quite keep it together. And he leaned on Unseen Saint out of the final chicane there, and it just, it's not what we want to see. A bit of a sim twitch is what got him. I just watched the replay. Yeah, that's rough, man.
Matt, in his element in the reverse grid. This is twice he's just gotten thrown to the back of the field.
It's really unfortunate, man. Twice in one race to go from whatever mid-position to last is... He's just taking it easy now. He knows he's not going to make any more positions up. I've just seen him float through those corners there, not really putting any kind of effort in.
Yeah, well, I'm on board with the battle for the podium position now with a lap and a half to go. Roadrunner trying to hold on to race 1 winner, GTR Renaud. Can he do it? He's all over the back bumper. There's no one in sight, front or behind. Chris has a commanding lead over Lawrence and these drivers. Who's going to get that final spot on the podium? Roadrunner looks a little vulnerable. Oh, and Renaud squeezing his way in there. He just muscles his way through. That is not nice.
Wow.
Absolutely
aggression
not nice.
plus from Renaud. That was... I think Roadrunner's not happy with that. I think he's going to give as good as he can get. Like, that's... Wow, that was a strong move. Not really quite illegal, but strong. A lot of paint traded there. Oh, wow, Roadrunner all over the back of him right now.
Yeah, look at Renaud going defensive. Roadrunner's letting him know he's there. And they're side by side going through the chicane. Oh, and Roadrunner's loose. Can't quite put the power down, but he's going to have the inside and the momentum going into 1 down the straightaway. Coming on
Not
to the
quite. Looks like
final
Renaud's
lap
going to actually have... Yeah, Renaud's actually got the pull on him there. You can see him just pull out a 2-car gap there. It's going to look close, but...
Can Roadrunner find a way back through the race 1 winner? Renaud's a little wide. He leaves the door on the inside open for Roadrunner. Roadrunner's sniffing his nose around that back bumper. Thought he was peeking inside. Now through the S's on the final lap.
Roadrunner's just piling on the pressure, trying to make Renaud make a mistake. It's really whoever blinks first through this section. Roadrunner looking for those opposite lines, trying to get a run on him somewhere. Oh man, that's so close. You can get really sucked wide there on the grass. You've got to be really careful.
Those are really strong lines from both those drivers. Renaud forced to defend again. Once again, can he get another podium position? Can he hold it down? Roadrunner's all over him right now. Later on the brakes from
covering
he's
from
going to
Renaud.
push him. Oh, man.
He covered him, but it was just a little bit of a late cover onto the left side of the track there. Don't know if that's quite marshallable, but it was interesting, let's say that. Some strong moves from Renaud in this final lap.
Yeah, a bit of a questionable overtake from Renaud, but, I mean, he got the job done. Roadrunner's sliding. Oh, and he got on the curb. He lost the front end. And I think that's it.
I mean, unless he gets an epic run through 130R again and has another go through the chicane, that's his only opportunity. I
wouldn't be surprised if he just throws it in to the chicane. Good run from Roadrunner.
Oh, he's switchy on the curb. Oh,
Is he going to throw it in? He's looking. He's looking. And he's not going to have it.
Yeah.
No. Curb through him a bit, and that's it. Aerox Chris takes the win commandingly, as we thought. Lawrence in second, just like we thought as well.
Good job from Lawrence.
And Renaud holds on for that third position as Roadrunner finishes fourth.
I don't know how Roadrunner feels about that, but I think I'd be pretty salty if that was me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the cleanest of overtakes. I mean, but I mean, Rubbins Racing is you know, the motto I go by, and it's the last lap, and he kind of pushed him out of the way. And you know what? I mean, all in all,
it was
everything
clean
was
enough.
racing.
It's not like he shoved him offline or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I just punt you into the wall and be like, "Yes, sweet, thanks, mate." Or it's not like he moved Roadrunner offline. He just sort of wiggled in between him and the curb and just held position there around Spoon. And it was a strong move, no doubt, but I don't know about illegal. I would say that was okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. He just muscled his way into a space that was not really there. I mean,
marginally there. Like,
yeah.
there was millimeters of difference between it being there or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so close to core.
Yeah.
If there was enough room for him or not.
But other than that, you know,
who do you want to interview today? We can't interview Renaud. He doesn't speak English.
Oh, well, I mean, he types English. I mean, in the GTR chat, I've seen him type English. But I would love to interview Renaud.
I mean, invite him if you want, but I don't know. What I think I asked to interview him last week with Melish, and Melish said he doesn't speak English, so.
Yeah, neither does Chris. Chris doesn't speak English.
Do you want? Where did Boket end up, by the way?
Let's have a look. Fifth in race number 2.
Okay. So that's pretty decent from him. Good recovery from an early incident. Actually, a late incident. It was like lap 5, so halfway through the race. He crashes to the back of the grid and still manages to get a 5th position, top 5. That's pretty solid. Pull Boket in here. We haven't talked to Boket at all this season.
No, we haven't. You know, let's see if we can get him in here. You want to invite him?
We could talk to Chris. I mean, we could
No,
ask
Chris
him if he was
doesn't-
actually sandbagging.
No, Chris doesn't.
Chris doesn't speak English?
Yeah, Chris
Interview?
doesn't speak
No?
English. No.
Oh. Well, then no worries. We'll ask about that from Boket.
Yeah. Ask. Invite Jacob in here. Let's see what he has to say. I think I have him on my friends list.
I'll invite him. I have him on my friends list as well.
There we go. Now I gotta invite Boket back in here.
I invited Boket in here already.
There we go.
Hello.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Alright. Well, not brilliant after that, not gonna lie.
What happened there? You were running. I mean, what was it in the first race? You were running up front.
Yeah, I got my outside tyres on the curb at 130R, and then I sim twitched into the wall, which gave Roadrunner second place. Which, yeah, it was going to happen. It happened to Chris as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
saw
saw
that.
that.
It happened to Chris right in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was nearly
My
the end of my life.
my theory. Oh. My theory is that Chris was deliberately sandbagging to win that second race. What are your thoughts on this?
No. No, you're chatting, man.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. That's fair. I mean, he did get that win the
still
second race, so bit of a consolation there. But
I don't think he'd end up with as many points. He spun out as well at the end of the second race, the first race. Sorry, I think he had an accident going to Spoon.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
right
he
behind
started literally
Renault
on pole.
and
Yeah.
in the first race, and unfortunately he, it looked like the 130R unsettled his car, and then he just couldn't quite get it straightened out, and then he just threw it right into the tire walls, unfortunately going into the final chicane. But yeah, no, I mean,
It's when you lose the Lambo, it's so hard to get back. I lost it twice, and I just put it into the wall both times. Luckily, because of that curb glitch, there was no damage on, so that sort of saved me.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
we
did say that
saw,
earlier on too, yeah.
yeah, we saw Renault's
Did we see?
clip, and he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying that there was at the end of 130R, we decided that we were like, we can't have this messing with the championship, so we threw out simulation for this race. Hopefully it gets fixed for next week. But good run from you. I mean, you still finished 5th in the second race, so I mean, a good recovery. Not
Cheers,
bad.
man.
So,
It's alright. Yeah, I'm gonna put a video on Twitter later of it. My qualifying was a bit annoying as well.
yeah. What did you think of the fog? Did it throw you off at all? Did it affect the
I was
handling
just
of the
about to
car
ask the
at all?
same thing. I'm so glad we're on the same mindset right now.
It was really thick, so you couldn't see much. And I know Matt Gaming runs no line for these races, and he couldn't see his braking points. So
That
that's a
actually
bit of a-
explains so much about what happened in those final couple of laps with
Yeah.
that gaming.
He didn't know where to brake because of the fog, so
Oh, that's so
it threw a couple
unfortunate.
people off. Yeah, it was thicker than you imagine. Like when it says fog or overcast, you just think, oh, it's a little bit. But it was,
Yeah.
it was proper like clouds, were racing in the sky.
Yeah, I noticed that like when you were heading into 130R, like you couldn't quite spot the apex if there was fog on.
Yeah.
Like on the replay,
Yeah.
there's no brake line, so you can't really see it until it's almost too late, and you're like, oh. It looked like
Yeah, yeah.
I think
And then
that
you
caught
gotta
out a
turn it
couple of
and-
people.
Got the outside curve to deal with as well, hidden in the fog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that outside curve's a murderer, as we've seen. You claim multiple lives today.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened to Warwick, but he was running in third, I think, all alone, and then just
I
ended
think
up
that curve
defense
got
there.
him as well.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
100%
so.
sure, but I think it got him as well.
And that was at the start of the fog, so I wonder if he's running line or just got caught out by the apexing.
Maybe,
You
yeah.
couldn't really see it. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the round, I hope. Besides your obvious
Yeah,
setbacks.
It was alright, yeah. I'm gonna put a video of it later on because I had some pretty unfortunate clips, especially in qualifying as well.
Yeah, looks like you're pretty set as well in terms of qualifying for the final. As long as you show up and keep doing what you've been doing. I mean, do you have a favorite track coming up as well? Like out of the 3,
What
Yeah.
have we got then? So we got Silverstone, Spa, and what's the other one?
Nürburgring GP.
Nürburgring GP.
It'd probably be Silverstone, I think. So I'm okay at Spa as well. I don't like Nürburgring GP. I'd like to do full circuit.
Yeah, well, I mean, we would too, but that's not as exciting as, like, for the viewers. Honestly, it's quite boring to watch a. Yeah.
A 5-lap quali session.
Yeah. I think I'd do it as a 1-lap quali session. It would just be your
Yeah.
outlap, like I were.
But yeah, it looked like you had at least a decent race today. Hopefully we see a little bit more of the same. Hopefully a little bit better next week at Silverstone, as it is. Sounds like it's one of your favorite tracks. So.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that for you, and maybe you'll grab another pole position.
Hopefully
you know?
so. Races wasn't in this round though, was he? So
Races botched his qualifying worse than you did.
oh,
Yeah, he didn't run a
I've
clean
just
lap.
exposed him. Oh. Okay. Yeah,
So-
he'll put in a better lap next time, and it'll be harder to get pole. I'm still gonna give it a good go though.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you up there, and we look forward to seeing you next round.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Thanks for
I'll see you in
talking
a
with us, man. Looking forward to it.
Nice. I'll see you in a bit.
See ya. Some interesting insight there from Burkett.
Yeah, definitely. The fog definitely throwing people off. Probably weren't expecting such thick fog as well. I know I wasn't expecting as thick fog as that came down. I was just expecting a little bit, if we even got any. But But yeah, we got some, and I also got a message from Lawrence after the race. Doesn't look like he's too happy. I have to see what happened with him. Not really sure, but
What was the message? What was it about? Even?
It was two emojis that one is unhappy and then the other is like an okay thing. So
I think that's race 1, unhappy. Race 2, okay.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll have to go back and see what happened. It looks like he wants to submit an SI. I'd like to see. I don't remember if he caught it on stream.
I don't remember either. Somebody go back and watch the clip and tell me, send me a message or something. I don't know. Send Kicker a message or me. That's up to you.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got
interesting round.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
You can go ahead first.
I was gonna say interesting round. I'm looking forward to seeing what the US side brings. I noticed that a lot of the time the US side's a little bit more aggressive, even despite high latency. There's just more aggressive driving going on. So I'm interested to see how a track like Suzuka plays into that, as it's not a track where there's a lot of aggressive places that you can make moves. I mean, the hairpin's going to be dicey, and I think the chicane and spoon are going to be the main places where there's going to be some interesting action. Or turn one.
Yeah, and look, the guys that got penalties last week they got warnings or penalties or license points, and if they keep accumulating license points, they're going to get qualifying and race position deductions in the next race. So they definitely need to.
So explain how the license points work for the viewers.
Okay, so if you guys don't know how Delta does their sort of like stewarding system is, each time you get a penalty, it's essentially put on license points on your license. Essentially, it's like a driver's license. It's like, you know, when you're on the road, you get a ticket. It's like this. You accumulate a certain amount of points, you get your license revoked. Similar to this, if you accumulate 8 license points, or I believe it's 6 license points, you get a warning. 8 license points, you get a 5-point qualifying or 5-position qualifying penalty, grid position penalty in the starting race. And then I think it's like 12 points is like 10 positions, and then 16 is like banned from Delta for a while or something like that. But basically, the more they accumulate, the more you're going to have to drive a lot less aggressive. So if these guys are getting up into that 4, 5, 6 range, I know a couple of these guys got multiple penalties for the way they were driving last week. Hopefully that calms them down. We won't see what we saw last week tonight. Suzuka being a very narrow track, very difficult to overtake. I'm expecting we're going to see more of the same, and if it doesn't calm down, they're going to get even more penalties, and hopefully the message sinks in.
Well, if the message hasn't sunk in yet, it's going to mix up things for the future round, Silverstone and GP, because those guys copping penalties are some of the top runners, some of them. And that's really interesting to me because penalties often play a part in motorsport in real life. So I'm interested to see how that goes throughout the rest of this season. I mean, you know, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, am I making sense, or am I just babbling?
No? Yeah, it makes complete sense. And those guys go into the final round with those license points as well. So if they they accumulate like say 8 points or 9 points through the first 6 rounds, they're gonna have a qualifying grid position penalty of 5 places where they qualify for Spa. They don't want that. So that's going to really hurt them.
So it doesn't matter if they qualify on pole, they'll just get set back by 5 positions. That's not what you want. Not on a final. Not when there's money on the line. So they really have to watch themselves in the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for us today from the EU side of things. Some decent racing tonight. I think we saw a lot of clean racing as well. I didn't really see too many.
Great display of talent.
Yeah, exactly. We saw some of the best in the world as well competing. So, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And we've got THR Flip Mode. Andrew's going to be coming on with Roadkill tonight in just 3 hours to do the US side of things. So looking forward to that. I will be out taking care of some stuff in real life. So I will not be here, but tune in to our channel in 3 more hours to check out Lightning and Billy Sue and all the other US drivers, including Zoom and Force One and Venom. And yeah, so I mean, that's going to do it from us. I mean, is there anything else I'm missing?
No, but it's really funny that you said real life stuff, like whatever the hell that means. That wasn't very explanatory is what I'm getting at. You just sort of said real life stuff. That's gold. No, that's pretty much it. You go do your real life stuff. I'll wait here for Flip Mode. I'm sure he'll be here soon. No, I'm just kidding. Do I need to meet up with him early to discuss stuff, or what?
I don't know. You can
Okay.
ask him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'll see you later. And again, everybody, thanks for watching. Donate so that Kicker can have a better computer and not have things happen to him. If you guys want to see higher quality
Cheers.
streams, you know, send us money in envelopes with anthrax on it.
all right.